Okay, so this part is still about find exact value. Okay, so find exact value, draw angle, reference angle, side ratio, right? Check sign. So all the questions we've done so far, the angle is always inside the quadrants, right? Either in 1, 2, 3, or 4. So now we are going to do is how do we find exact values? If the angle they stop on the axis. Okay, so angles on X or Y axis. Because when that happens, it's not in the quadrant. Then you won't be able to see the triangles. Okay, and then the numbers for the sides will be a little bit confusing. Okay, so let's look at a picture on the top here. I'm gonna draw a few angles, okay, and then we'll think of it like an animation, okay, how it slowly changes. So we start with an angle of 45 degrees, okay. I'm gonna put it like that, okay. So this is like 45 degrees. Well, I shouldn't put 45 there, okay. So I'll just draw 45. So it will be like that, right? I'll put 45. So that one, no problem, right? We have the sides. The sides for 45 degree, what is it, Evan?
Square root 2, 1 and 1.
Yeah, so we have 1 root 2. That's no problem, right? Now, if we make the angle become smaller, okay? So let's say we go down to 30 degree. So this will be like 30 degree. Right? So 30 degree, the sides will be what? What are the three sides now? Lady?
2, 1, and root 3.
Yeah. And the opposite side should be what?
1.
Yeah, very good. So 1 and then root 3 and then the 2, right? So we have a 30 degree for this one. Okay. Well, from the picture here, right, the one on the 45 degree looks longer than the one on the 30 degree, okay? So the reason why that is because of the hypotenuse is different, okay? So if we keep the hypotenuse the same, okay, let's say if we shrink it, okay, maybe this is not a good idea to draw, okay. We won't put the sides, okay? Just think of it as a review right now of the three sides. I'm gonna erase the sides first, okay? If you already copy it down, sorry about that, okay? Just a little change, okay? I'm gonna draw the cross again. Because in order to compare the sides, we need to keep the hypotenuse all the same. So I'm gonna draw a circle here, like that. Okay, and then hypotenuse will keep it all the same, right? So that's 45 degree, 30 degree, right? 30, 45, okay? Now, if you compare the opposite side, the 45 degree, the green line is longer than the green line on the 30 degree, right? Because it turns smaller. Make sense? And then the red line is a hypotenuse, right? Which never change. Let's adding another color. Okay, this one is the pink, peach color, right? Okay. So now you can see the adjacent side is getting shorter. Oh, sorry, getting longer. as the angle gets smaller. Does that make sense? Right, so opposite side. Okay, as we make the angle smaller, I'll repeat that one more time, okay? As the angle gets smaller from the picture, you can see the opposite side gets shorter. Okay, and then the adjacent side gets longer. All right, so now we need you to use some imagination now, okay? If the angle gets really small and goes to like 0 degree. Okay, so that means the hypotenuse will be like this, almost touching the x-axis, right? Because the angle become very, very small. Then which side disappear now? Does anyone know? Is it the opposite side or the adjacent side? Which side would disappear? Anybody?
Adjacent.
Adjacent side, okay. In this case, the adjacent side actually is still there. It's down here. You see the adjacent side is the pink color. Okay, Nick?
Opposite side.
Yeah, opposite side will shrink, okay? Because it's like the door closing, right? Then you don't have any more gap between the terminal arm and the x-axis. So the green line will just be a little dot. Okay, we're looking from 45 degree. Let me draw it here. All right, we're looking this way. Angle decrease. Okay, as the angle decreases, the opposite side gets shorter. Okay, adjacent side gets longer. Adjacent is the pink one. Okay, can you raise your hand if you understand up to here so far? Okay, so imagine it like an animation, like a cartoon, right? It's turning, right? The terminal arm is turning. Okay, so eventually, so from here we can get a conclusion. If the angle stops on the x-axis, okay, angle on x-axis, then your opposite side would disappear, okay? Opposite will equal to 0. And then your adjacent will be the same as your hypotenuse. Okay, even if it turns to the other side, same thing will happen. Okay, turns to 180 degree. Okay, when the terminal arm, right, 180 degree will be on the left side, right? So same thing, it will also collapse. Let me see if we can show that here. Right, I'm gonna use this line, right? This is the angle, right? So turn 90 degree, right? Maybe 100 degree, 120, 130, 140, 150, and then 180, right? As it reaches 180 degree, your opposite side disappears again. Okay, that moving line is the angle. Okay, so that's our conclusion. When the angle is on the x-axis, your opposite is 0, adjacent is hypotenuse. Okay, so you guys can write these down first. Okay, after you write those down, please raise your hand. So the point I'm trying to get is the angle changes, right? As the angle decrease here, what's happening to the sides? Okay, if we keep the hypotenuse all the same, right? Then you can compare how the length of the sides change. Okay, please raise your hand after you copy these down. Hello, Waylon.
Hello.
Okay, Jenny, you got it?
Yeah, I do now.
Okay, so now we're going to go the opposite way, okay? We're gonna increase the angle, okay? So we're gonna make angle increase. Angle increase. Right? You can also see from 30°, okay? From 30°, it goes to 45°, right? That's increasing, right? We're starting from 30 to 45, and then the green line, which is opposite, become longer. Okay, and then the adjacent side gets shorter as the angle increases. Okay, and then we keep on making it bigger. So this time, let's go to 60°, right? Okay, so if the angle goes to 60°, so something like that, 60°, right? Then you can see the green line will get even longer, right? And then your adjacent side even more short, right? Shorter. Okay, look at the comparison of each of the triangle. As the angle gets bigger, the two sides, one gets longer, one gets shorter. All right, so once it moves to 90°, all right, try to imagine what will happen to the triangle if the hypotenuse turns to 90°, which means it's resting on the y-axis. Right, now will be 90°. Then which side will disappear this time? Daniel, which side will disappear?
The hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse is always there. Hypotenuse is the red line. As
Is
the
opposite.
as the angle increase, okay, look at the picture. Angle increases, which side keep on it's getting shorter?
Adjacent.
Adjacent, right? So eventually the adjacent will become 0. So it should be adjacent that disappears. Okay, adjacent, it becomes just a dot. No more adjacent. Okay, and then your opposite side will be getting longer, and then eventually it becomes the same as hypotenuse. Okay, if angle is on the y-axis, that's what will happen. Okay. So this is to help you understand why the sides become 0, why the sides become the same, okay? Otherwise, I could just give you the conclusion, but it won't make any sense why the answer is like that. Okay, so we show it by drawing the pictures, okay? Show the progression of how the triangle changes. So here, let's write down the conclusion, okay? If the angle goes on the y-axis, okay, whether it's on the top or bottom, your adjacent side will be 0. And then your opposite side will be same as hypotenuse. Okay, y-axis adjacent is gone, right? Opposite hypotenuse are the same. Okay, so please raise your hands when you're done here. Okay, and we're gonna move on to finding the ratios, okay, for those places. So please raise your hand when you finish copying these 5 circles. Does anyone have questions about why the sides become 0? Okay, please raise your hand if you're done copying. Okay, so we are going to start with the first picture, okay, or sine ratio, okay? The first circle on the left side. We have 3 big circles here, right? I'll start with the first one. So you can see I also drew a big circle there, right? That's gonna keep our radius the same, okay, throughout the whole turn. So we are going to start with 0 degree, right? So we already covered that. 0 degree, the hypotenuse is on the right-hand side, right? X-axis. When that happens, opposite is 0, adjacent hypotenuse could be any number, okay? But then they are the same, okay? Adjacent hypotenuse are the same. To keep things simple, okay? We're just gonna let hypotenuse be 1, okay? So your adjacent, right, which is there, that will also be 1. Okay, and then your opposite will be 0. Okay, now if I want to find sine, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is 0. Hypotenuse is 1. So you get 0. That's your answer. Any questions so far? Okay, so what this 0 means is if the sine has an angle of 0 degree, the answer will be 0. Okay, but it's not limited to sine of 0 degree. It's whenever the angle stops there, it'll be 0. Okay, so for example, if it's sine 360 degree, will also be 0, right? Because 360 degree just makes a full turn. It stops at the same place, okay, etc. Right? So anytime when the angle stops on the right-hand side, x-axis, the sine ratio will be 0. All right. Okay, can you raise your hand if you understand up to here? And then we're going to move on to the next place, okay? We'll move to the cosine, not cosine, the 90 degree, okay? Eric, do you have any questions? Why it's 0?
Oh, no, sorry. I think I forgot to raise my hand.
Okay, we're going to move on to 90 degrees. So the red line is going to here. Okay, 90 degree is on y-axis, right? So you look at the conclusion we had before, okay? Y-axis. So adjacent this time will become 0. Right, and then opposite side will be the same as hypotenuse, right? So opposite side will be here. Opposite is the green line, right? And then your adjacent is gone. Okay, just a dot. Okay, so we would have, we are still doing sine, right? So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, but opposite hypotenuse are the same. If they are the same, when you divide them, it will just be 1, right? 1 over 1. So this one will be 1. Okay, because opposite and hypotenuse are the same. So it will equal to 1, okay, when you divide by them. Opposite divided by hypotenuse. So this 1, it means if you have sine, I'm gonna use a radian, okay? Sine of pi over 2 will be 1. Okay, because pi over 2 is like 90 degrees, right? It turns to there, will be 1. So that's the meaning of the 1. 1 is the ratio, okay? Because at those places you cannot see the triangle, you need to imagine one of the side disappeared. Okay, we're going to speed up a little bit. Keep on turning, right? Now it turns to 180 degree, so it'll be here. And then your adjacent side is here. Your opposite side is here. Okay. So once again, opposite side, right? Because angle is on the x-axis. Opposite side is 0 now, right? So opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite 0. So 0 divided by any number will be 0. So it will be 0. Okay, so what this number means again is like if you have sine of pi, it'll be 0. Sine of negative pi will also be 0, right? Whenever it stops on the left side, it will be 0. Okay, one more place, right? The bottom part. So it turns to 270 degree. So hypotenuse will be here. The opposite will be the same. Adjacent is gone. Okay, this time is a little bit different. Okay, your opposite side is at the bottom. So your opposite side, you should think of it as -1 because it goes to the bottom. Okay, if it's on the left side, your adjacent side will be -1. Okay, because it changes sign, right? The sides will change sign as you move to different sides. Remember this picture, this chart? In different quadrants, your adjacent and opposite will change sign. But then hypotenuse is always positive, okay? So in this case, right, at the bottom part, your opposite is -1. Your hypotenuse is still positive, okay? We're doing sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is -1. hypotenuse is 1, so you get -1. Okay, so that took a while, right, to go around. So that's all the 4 places that could happen, okay, when the angle is on X or Y axis. Okay, and then for the 90-degree, opposite will be 1, okay. I'll put the numbers there so you can see. Okay. All right, so what I would like you to try is to do the cosine. All right, cosine by yourself. So I'm gonna split the space here. Okay, please do the cosine. Try to figure out the cosine at different place. Okay, you can start on that right now. Okay, find the cosine or check cosine first, okay, before you go to tangent. So do the same thing. Instead of opposite over hypotenuse, you will have adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so when you finish cosine the 4 numbers, you can start with 0 degree, okay? Go until like 90, right? 180 degree and then 270 degree, okay? When you finish those 4 places, please raise your hand. And then we'll check the numbers. Okay, let me know if you have questions. So remember, if the angle's on the x-axis, think about which side disappeared. If it's on the y-axis, which side disappeared? And in different quadrant, which side is positive, which side is negative? You can use the first picture, okay, to figure out the ratio. We already wrote out all the numbers, right? Okay, Waylon, how come you keep dropping out? Okay, Jenny, are you there yet? Jenny? Jenny not here? Okay, please raise your hand if you finish cosine. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's check the answer for cosine. Okay, we start with 0 degree. Okay, Nick, what do you get? What's cosine of 0 degree?
I got 0.
Cosine is what over what?
Adjacent over hypotenuse.
Okay. When it's on x-axis,
Oh, so 1.
yes, adjacent hypotenuse are the same. Okay, so when you
Okay.
divide, it should be 1.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go on to 90 degree. Okay, Susan, what do you get for 90 degree cosine? Susan,
One.
you get 1. It's on y-axis, right? On y-axis, which side disappeared?
Adjacent?
Adjacent disappeared, right? So adjacent is 0. We're doing cosine.
There, there, there.
Yeah, okay. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So 0 over a number, right? So it'll be 0. Okay, we'll go to 180 degree. Okay, on the left side, this time is on the x-axis again. Okay, Angela, what's your ratio?
-1.
Because,
It's like it's -1 over 1.
okay, yeah, -1 for the adjacent, and then hypotenuse is 1, so -1 over 1. Okay, opposite disappear, but you have adjacent and hypotenuse are the same. But because it's on the left side, your adjacent is negative. Okay, so you need to have -1 over 1. Okay, and then final place, 270 degree, right? So it turns to the bottom. So it's on the y-axis now, right? On the y-axis, then adjacent is gone, right? Adjacent is 0. Okay, Daniel, what's your answer for cosine of 270 degree?
0
Because,
is 0 over -1.
yeah, 0 over 1, okay? Not -1. -1 is for the opposite, okay? We are doing adjacent over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is always 1. So 0 over 1, give you the 0. Okay, I hope you are getting better at these weird places, right? Special places. You cannot see the triangle. You got to imagine which side disappeared. Okay, one more, okay? Please do the tangent. Okay, raise your hand when you finish tangent. Okay, Jenny, we are doing the tangent picture now, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So please raise your hand if you finish the 4 numbers, if you found out the 4 numbers on the tangent part. On x-axis, opposite disappear. On y-axis, adjacent disappear. Okay, that's the main thing you need to remember. Right, then you can figure out the ratios. Okay, let's start with 0 degree. Okay, tangent of 0 degree. Sophie, what's your answer?
Got 0.
Okay, very good. Okay, opposite over adjacent. Opposite is gone, right? So 0 over 1. Okay, tangent of 90 degree. Okay, Philip, what do you get for 90 degree tangent?
Empty set.
Empty set, what does that mean?
Well, it's like undefined. You can't divide 1 by 0.
Very good. Okay, so empty means no value for that. Okay, opposite over adjacent, but adjacent is 0, right? So you cannot divide by 0. So this one is empty. Empty, I can also write not applicable, right? There's no values. Okay. And then we have 180 degree. Okay, Eric, what's tangent of 180 degree? Eric,
Yeah. Would it be 0 over 1?
yeah, 0 for the opposite, right? Opposite side is gone. Divide by hypotenuse is 1, 0 over 1. Okay. Last place, 270 degree.
Do I do this one as well?
Say that again.
Wait, do I do this one as well, or are you calling someone else?
Okay, you can do this one as well.
Oh, would it be also not applicable?
Yeah, not applicable as well. Okay, very good. So adjacent is 0 there, right? So no value. Cannot divide by 0. Okay, so I try to explain to you why we get those numbers, okay, through the turning of the terminal arm. But if you are not 100% like sure what's going on, you can just remember the numbers in the box. Okay, those are the conclusion. Okay, why those numbers are the answers. So now we need to memorize these places. Okay, and I found a way to help you remember them. Okay, just using the letter itself. Okay, so what you can do is you look at the for example, the sign. Okay, just look at sign right now. The way you spell sign is sign, S-I-N, right? I box the I, right? Look at the screen, right? I box the I. I looks like 1. So you have 1 and -1 in the middle. Okay, you just focus on the middle number. Once you know the middle number is 1 and -1, you know the other two, right? Should be 0 and 0. So just focus on the middle. Remember the middle, you remember the rest. Okay, that's the idea. So look at cosine. Cosine, the way you spell cosine is C-O-S, right? The O looks like a 0, right? So the middle is a 0. 0. Okay, use the letter, just a little trick, okay, to help you remember. So you know the middle one is 0 and 0, so the other two will be 1 and -1. All right, and then for the not applicable, now you can see, right, why I picked not applicable instead of empty set, right? So NA, right, middle has NA because tangent is spelled as AN. AN, right? NA, not applicable, applicable, not, okay? So the middle one is NA. The only key place you have to remember is the 0 and 0, the 2, 0, don't put 1 and -1, okay? So just make sure you put 0 and 0. So the way I usually like remember the other way as well is to think of NA as empty, right? 0 with a slash is empty. So everything is kind of related to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, but then the top and bottom is empty. Okay, so tangent is a special one. Okay, do you understand the trick? Can you raise your hand if you understand what I meant by those letters? Okay. Because on the test, you won't have this chart with you. Okay, that's why I'm trying to find a way to help you remember it in a short time. Okay. Okay, Kellen, Jenny, and Jocelyn, do you have questions about how to remember these numbers?
No, I just forgot to raise my hand. Sorry.
Okay. Lily, any questions? Right.
No.
Yeah. So now I would like you to practice, okay? By not looking at the chart, at the 3 pictures. I'm gonna move it up, okay? On your end, you can take something to cover your page. Right, get a piece of paper to cover the top circles, okay? And then we are going to do everything up to question L without looking at the chart, okay? And this is why you have to know how to do it this way. I'll demonstrate one, okay? So let's say I pick question G, right? You look at that angle. Okay, we are doing cosine 90 degree, right? Cosine 90, you can draw the picture in the head. Cosine 90 degree is here, right? There's no triangle. And then I know, oh, cosine has a 0, right? Has an O. So it'll be 0, 0, 1, -1, right? You do that in the head. So I know the answer will be 0.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah.
Wait, so we're gonna have a test, and is it gonna be online, or is it gonna have to have us come into class?
No, we don't have tests. You're testing yourself right now.
Oh no, like you said we're gonna have a exam.
No, I didn't say that. I said if you have a test, you won't have the chart on the top. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Remember it.
Okay.
Okay. For sure, you'll get tested at school, right? So that's what will happen. You won't have the chart for you to look at. You need to memorize this. Okay. So you get 0, 0 in the middle. So the answer for this one is 0. Okay. So you don't need to draw this out. Okay. You just need to imagine in your head where is 90 degree. Write down the answer in 1 second. Okay. You only need to draw it out if the angle gets really big, right? You need to keep on turning. Otherwise, you should be able to finish one question 1 second. All right. So how many questions are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 12. I give you 20 seconds then. Okay. So starting from now, please complete everything up to question L in 20 seconds. Okay. 19, 18. Okay, when you finish, please raise your hand, right? Just to L. Try to do this without looking at the 3 circles, okay? You look at the letter, then you know the place, right? You know the numbers. Okay, you should be done by now. Okay, if you are not finished yet, that means you haven't memorized it very well yet. Okay. Okay, Jenny, question 8.
0.
Okay, Lily, next one.
0.
Okay, Sophie.
0.
Okay, and Susan
0.
and Daniel.
-1.
Okay, Claire.
0.
Okay, CZ for H.
0.
Okay. Next one, Nick.
1.
Okay, and Callum, J.
0.
And question K, Evan.
NA.
What? NA?
No, yeah.
Okay, NA. Okay, question L, Angela.
-1.
Does anyone have different answer? There are some question that's wrong. Okay, anyone has different answers?
I got an A for H.
NA for H. Any other answer that's different?
I got -1 for J.
-1 for J. Anyone else? Okay, so let's check those two. Yeah, those two are the ones that have trouble. Okay, well, look at the picture, right? 270°, right? So look at how the angle turns. 270° or goes to here, right? At the bottom, it's on the y-axis. Okay, now we know tangent, right? Tangent is spelled as NA. So it'll be NA at the top and bottom. So answer should be NA, right? Not applicable, or you can say undefined. Okay, so those are the ways you can say it. All right, next one, cosine 540. Cosine 540, let's turn that. Cosine 540, this is 180, 360. We need to add another 180. So stop here. And then for cosine, we know cosine, oh, it spells as 0, right? Has an O, so 0, 0, 1, -1. So as on the left side should be -1. Okay. Any question about the mistakes here? Okay, so we're gonna go back up, okay? Because in grade 12, everything here actually you should have learned in grade 11, okay? Because it's just sine, cosine, and tangent. In grade 12, we add in cosecant, secant, and cotangent, right? So reciprocal of sine. Okay, what's reciprocal of sine, Evan?
Hypotenuse over opposite.
Yeah, what's it called?
Secant.
It's called cosecant. Cosecant, okay? Evan?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so look at here. Remember I told you the S pair with C, okay? Sine, cosecant. Last time everybody get a chance to say it out, right? Cosine, secant, tangent, cotangent. So make sure you pair up the right names, okay? So sine is with cosecant. I'm going to use a different color, right? So you won't mix up. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so reciprocal of sine is cosecant. So write cosecant, I'll use the red color. Okay, so we are going to write the ratio for cosecant. It's the reciprocal of what we had before, right? Reciprocal means you flip it. So 0/1, if you flip it, it will be undefined. Okay, so that means if it's cosecant of 0, it will be undefined. And then for 90 degree, right, cosecant, if you flip 1, like 1/1 is still 1. Okay. And then next one, undefined. Okay, you flip the original ones. Right, and then cosecant of 270 degree will be -1, because when you flip -1, it's still -1. Any question? Okay, those are for cosecants. So I will let you fill out the rest, right? The other two. So cosine, the reciprocal will be secant. Okay, you can use a different color box. Okay, if you know the sine, cosine, tangent, then you can get the cosecant, secant, cotangent. Okay, tangent reciprocal is cotangent. It'll be these ones. Okay, so when you finish cosine, secant, and cotangent, you can raise your hand. So you just reciprocal each of the green numbers. Okay, please raise your hand if you finish the two pictures. All right, so we'll go in order. Okay, we'll start with 0 degree. Secant, okay, we'll do secant first. So reciprocal of cosine. Okay, Evan, what's the first one?
Is it 0? Sorry, 1, 1, it's 1.
Okay, reciprocal of 1. Okay, 1/1, flip it over, it's still 1. Okay, Eric, next one, 90 degree.
Would it be undefined?
Yep, okay. When you flip a 0, it will become undefined. When you flip undefined, it should become 0. Okay, they're reciprocal of each other. Okay, Sophie, next one.
I got -1.
Yep, very good. Okay, go on, Angela. $270 degree.
Not like NA.
Yeah, NA, yes, okay. Not applicable, undefined, okay, they all mean the same thing. So those are for secant. All right. So you use cosine to help you figure out, because I already help you remember cosine, right? Okay, let's move on to tangent now. Start from 0 degree. Okay, Lily, what's the first one?
0.
We are flipping the 0. When you flip the 0, it should become what? Huh?
Undefined.
Yeah, undefined, okay? 0 and undefined, they are like reciprocal to each other, right? And Caleb, next one, 90 degree.
NA.
Tangent was NA, right? So
Oh,
if you flip NA will be,
undefined. Undefined.
NA is same as undefined. When you flip undefined, it should become what?
Still undefined.
No, when
You
you
mean
flip
0?
undefined, it will become 0. Okay, if you flip 0, it will become undefined.
Okay.
Okay, 0 means 0 over 1, right? If you flip it, it will become 1 over 0.
Okay.
Okay, 1 over 0 is undefined, 0 over 1 is 0. It's different.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
Next one, Nick.
Undefined.
Yeah. Next one, Daniel.
0.
Yeah, it will be 0. Okay. So very confusing if you don't remember it, right? If you don't have a little trick to help you remember. You have 0, 1, -1, undefined, right? You will get mixed up. So just focus on sine, cosine, tangent. And then you do the reciprocal if the question has a reciprocal. Okay? So once again, I need you to take something to cover the top, right? Don't look at that. And then complete the bottom 8 questions. Some questions, they are in radian, okay? But don't worry, right? You just draw them out, okay? Remember pi is 180 degree, okay? And then you just count the slices. All right, so finish the 8 questions. Okay, and then do not look at the 3 circles on the top. Okay, raise your hand when you're done. For those of you who are still quite confused where to start, okay, I'll demonstrate one, okay? I'll show you the process of my thinking, okay? For example, question N. The question, right, is secant. So you start thinking, oh, secant, I need to think about cosine, right? Secant cosine is reciprocal. And it's 180 degree, right? So I look at cosine, right? Cosine is 0, 0, 1, -1, right? From the previous. 180 degree is here, -1, right? But we are doing secant, so you need to reciprocal the -1. Reciprocal of -1 is still -1, so we are done. Okay? So you use sine, cosine, tangent to help you figure it out first. And then you reciprocal that answer. Understand? Okay. So that's the process, how to get the answer. Right, please raise your hand if you finish 08. All right, let's collect the answers. We'll start with question N. Cosecant 0 degree. Okay, Eric, do you have cosecant 0 degree?
Would it be undefined?
Okay, Evan, next one.
Undefined.
And Jenny, cotangent 270.
Is it cotangent or is it cosine?
Question P, question P.
Oh, sorry. Is it 0?
Okay,
Jason,
yes, Evan,
for question O, it's 0. It's not undefined.
which one?
O.
Question O is 0.
Yeah.
All right, question Q, Lily,
1.
1. Question R, Claire,
-1.
okay. Question S, Waylon,
Oh, 0.
and question T, Callum,
Undefined.
all right. Anyone has different?
Jason,
Yes,
for question Q, it's undefined.
Q is undefined. Anyone else has different ones?
Jason,
Yes, Daniel,
for S, I got undefined.
defined, okay. Anyone else? All right, so let's look at those two, right? See which one's correct. So cosecant, we'll look at Q, right? Pi over 2. Remember, pi is at 180 degree, right? So pi over 2 is 90 degree. So it turns to here. Okay, and we are doing cosecant, okay? So you think about cosecant as reciprocal of sine, right? So sine, it will be 1, -1, 0, 0. Now we want to do cosecant, so we need to reciprocal. We need to flip the 1. When I reciprocal the 1, it will still be 1, right? Because 1 over 1 is 1, right? If you flip 1 over 1, it's still 1 over 1. Okay, so answer should be 1. Any questions so far?
I got undefined for O.
For O. Okay, for O. Yeah, let's write that down. Okay, we'll go over that as well. Question O is a cosine, right? Cosine is no reciprocal, it's the original one. Okay, so it's like the ones we did above, right? So we are doing cosine. Cosine, you just look at the letter, right? It spells 0, spells O. So 0, 0, 1, -1. 90 degree turns to here. So answer is 0. Make sense, Jenny?
Yep.
Okay. So cosine, you don't need to flip anything. If the question is secant, then you are correct. Okay, it'll be undefined because you need to flip 0 or become undefined. Okay, next one is S. Okay, S, we have 5 pi over 2. Okay, so if you have trouble here, it might be because we're like how to draw the angle. Okay, you think about it's over 2, right? Pi over 2 is 90. You want 5 of them, right? 5 pi over 2. So yeah, pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, 4 pi over 2, 5 pi over 2. You have 5 pieces of pi over 2. So it stops here. Okay? So stopping here, we're doing cotangent. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, right? So for tangent is undefined, 0, 0, right? But you want to reciprocal that. Reciprocal of undefined will give you 0. So answer should be 0. Okay, I hope you understand how to do the reciprocal ones. Okay, if you still have any question about these questions, okay, ask me during the break. We'll take a break for 15 minutes, okay? And you guys can come back at 11:15. All right? And those of you haven't handed in the homework, you can use that, do that during the break.